Given that we weren't able to do a true Halloween episode this year, why not look back on one of our previous Halloween episodes and give you guys an updated look from our review? A title that I adore as a Warhammer fan and John enjoys just from the quality alone. So let's dive right into Warhammer End Times Vermintide, which has become extra spoopy for the holidays. So what all has changed? Well, first and foremost, we should talk about our biggest issue with the base game. See, at the time of our review, there was very little you could do about what you earned from the random dice rolls at the end of each mission. So while there was progression, it felt far too reliant on pure luck to accomplish anything. This has been well and truly fixed with the introduction of several new mechanics. Firstly, new trinkets were added corresponding to each of the characters, which would weigh all loot rewards at the end towards gear for them. So if you want Bright Wizard gear, slot the Bright Wizard trinket onto your characters to ensure a better loot drop chance for them. These same trinkets are also used within the newly added Shrine of Solace, which allows you to generate random gear for a price of upgrade stones. Simply slot in your specific class gem, choose ranged or melee, and then whatever rarity of item you want. You can also upgrade the buffs on your item for a few upgrade stones, or change them out altogether, again using stones. Secondly, you will gain new equipment each time your account levels up as well, ensuring a steady flow of gear and items all throughout and making the progression feel far better and more satisfying. There is even a brand new system that adds to this, but we will talk about that later in the video. After implementing the previously mentioned systems, a new game mode in DLC was added known as Last Stand, which introduced a free mission known as Town Meeting, and a second accessed by purchasing the DLC known as known as The Fall. The Fall is also the first mission that technically takes place outside of the Ubersreich area, though don't expect to do much exploring in a new region just yet. You also don't personally need to buy the DLC. So long as someone you know owns it, you can play it while they are hosting. And barring that, you can just play the free Horde map Town Meeting instead. Like your traditional Horde mode, you'll be tasked with surviving wave after wave of enemy assaults, though the waves here are rather intense and the difficulty cannot go below hard, or rather veteran, which is one of the new difficulties specifically made for this mode. Surviving past certain waves will unlock additional supplies to use, which can be combined with random resupply drops to keep you in the fight longer. Every now and then, medallions will spawn as well that can be picked up for rewards at the end of the match. We certainly recommend a coordinated team for this, as you can earn rather lucrative rewards if you make it far and pick up enough medallions. The second DLC came in the form of Castle Drachenfels, which again can either be purchased outright or played by joining someone else that had bought the DLC already. Here you are taken to the titular castle, where the Skaven have begun setting up major operations that need to be dealt with for the good of the Empire as a whole, now that Ubersreich is decently prepared against them. Unlike the base game, there isn't a set path to go through, so we simply chose to play from left to right on the map, and this worked out rather well in terms of story and pacing. The first mission is Castle Drachenfels itself, and tasks you with recovering an ancient relic before the Skaven can get their hands on it. There is little information given about the relic and what the vile ratmen may do with it, but needless to say, it is better to have it in our hands than theirs. In this mission, you'll make your way from outside the castle and roam all throughout its rather labyrinthian design. There are some real standout areas here, with more Warhammer lore gushing in the form of the Poison Feast, or at least the banquet hall where it took place, complete with corpses, which you will need to fight through in order to proceed. The second mission is known simply as the Dungeons, and has probably our favorite mechanic thus far. In the mission, you'll be tasked with recovering more artifacts hidden deep within the various cells and prisons beneath the castle itself, and adds darkness to the mix. We don't mean things get a bit dim, but pitch black darkness, introduced early into the mission with a small ominous room you can walk straight to the other side of. This changes drastically later on when you will require the use of a torch, making someone a candle, so to speak, and allowing you to actually navigate through the abyss safely. This mechanic was used exceptionally well, and given the game's fantastic lighting system, it comes off perfectly. Of the three missions, this was easily the best of the lot, and just felt like an amazing experience all around. The last mission is known as Summoner's Peak, where you will need to overload Skaven generators to destroy their warp portals, and at least slow the flow of Skaven into the area. This is a rather straightforward mission, and there aren't too many standout features here, just a simple defend the overheating generator until it explodes before moving to the next one. This one had a rather abrupt ending as well, though the final area was interesting, and fighting 2 Skaven portals, hordes of reinforcements, all set on the side of a cliff was nice. Immediately following this, there is no run to get to the wagon for escape. You simply drop down from where you were fighting and just leave. Finally, a recent update has added the quest board into the game, which allows you to choose one of 3 major tasks to complete for loot, indicated by the item in the rewards box. These will require completing key tasks to get you closer and closer to unlocking the item, and these quests are indicated with a key icon on the rewards bar. Each major task requires a different amount of keys, and only 2 key quests will be generated each day, with the remaining quests being various buff or upgrade stone rewards. This is yet another measure of ensuring you are constantly making progress, though one downside to the system is that you can have quests generated that require the DLC to even accept, so be prepared for that going in. So for now you can still only pick between 5 characters. John still has terrible dice luck, the game is still by Warhammer fans for Warhammer fans, and the Vile Ratmen are still just as satisfying to vivisect. Some things never change.